I think that we are creating a place in America, in the world, where we're being told things that don't matter. For instance, everybody hates and everybody's saying all the people that Donald Trump is choosing are not qualified. So are you saying that because you think they're not qualified, or are you saying it because you think, or you just don't like Donald Trump? And usually 9 times out of 10, people don't like Donald Trump, so they don't like anything he does. People don't, conservatives or Republicans that don't like what Democrats do, that's what they do as well. It's just human nature, and it's a habit. But when I hear people being told that they don't have to go to college, they don't have to get certain qualifications, that bothers me. Because people are using these people that Donald Trump are putting into office, which are really patronage jobs if you really think about it. The movement of these agencies goes on whether a person is in charge or not. That's why they have an undersecretary and an under this and a manager, director of that, because they are career politicians. And it's not changing. We know that. But then someone asked me today, do qualifications matter? And I said, well, what do you mean? And they said, well, Trump is putting all these people in. I said, well, do you think qualifications matter? And they basically said, yes, they matter. But then on the flip side, the same person complained about a story that I'm going to be talking about in terms of Harvard and the low levels of law school students that have gotten into Harvard that are black. And I said, well, why doesn't it matter then? I mean, don't you want a lawyer? And so the person made the person made the comment that, well, anybody can be a lawyer, right? And I was like, no. It takes significant training to be able to understand the legal system, because the legal system was built for them. They built their own system. They put in Latin, and now you got to figure it out. And if you're not certified and took the test and became a member of the bar, you don't get to play in their arena, just like medical doctors and dentists and all that. But then you're complaining that black people are not getting into Harvard Law School. And so then I asked this person, do qualifications matter? Do we need more black lawyers because we want more black lawyers? Or do we want good black lawyers? Do we want exceptional black lawyers? And if you can't pass the test to get into law school, you don't get to go to law school. We don't get to put you in because there are not enough black people in. Or do we follow numbers? And then what about gender? What about race? Do they offset qualifications? I don't know. 833-212-1017. Do qualifications actually matter today? Or do we have a generation that thinks they can do anything if they can just figure it out and sit down and do it? Had somebody tell me that I can do anything. Well, you can't. And it's okay. Because some things you don't have the capacity to do. If you don't have a math capacity or a science capacity or biology or chemistry, you're not going to be a registered nurse. You're not going to be a nurse practitioner. You're not going to be a medical doctor. You're not going to be a dentist. Full stop. Like, I don't know how you could be helped with that. That's just it. Qualifications. Do they matter? I say yes. Significantly so. So does anything come after qualifications? Is it race? Is it gender? I'm hearing today, and I know I'll get pushback for it, but I'm hearing from a lot of people, black women are the most hard-working people, and they're walked over in it. And I'm like, well, actually, I think the black man got you beat by decades. By decades. I think in some instances, and I'm speaking for me, like men, tend to make their lives harder than they have to be. But for the most part, I'm completely and totally 100% biased that black men have it significantly harder and worse than other people in the world. If you agree or disagree, again, 833-212-1017. I think qualifications matter. If we spend more time helping other people become qualified and spend less time trying to work our way around the qualification, there would be significantly more black people in significant fields all over the country. And now a bunch of white people are going, yeah, it's about merit. Yeah, but you got an upper hand. And so many times black people can't make it. And they can't get through, and they can't reach the line. You know why? You keep moving the line. We do it in sales. We do it in education. We'll just kind of move the line. Oh, we're going to move it. Oh, you did great, but we want to move it. And when does that end? Where you push every little thing out of somebody. Qualifications matter. Then you can see the writing on the wall and see how people treat you, and then race and gender don't really become an issue unless you have somebody or work with somebody that has an issue with your race or gender. Arguing 2 points at the same time. Why aren't more black people in Harvard Law? Is it because they couldn't get in? Is it because they didn't want to go there? Might be the case. It might be too expensive. But then why do we need qualifications? Well, you need them for some things. Other things you don't need them. In the meantime, you know what your mother told you. You know what your grandmother told you if you're black. You got to be twice as good, 3 times as good in order to be considered equal. And then right when we figured out how to be equal, everything became about equity.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.